All right, so this is an interesting theory, and it's out there. It's way out there on the fringe. Did the internet actually die in the early 2000s, back around 2010 to 2015? Are the large majority of interactions right now actually bots on the internet where you think you're talking to somebody else, but you're actually talking to an artificial intelligence bot that might be answering the same exact way as your aunt, your friend, but subtle differences designed to manipulate and control your life? That's an interesting theory. I don't know if it's true. And I just learned about it and I was blown away. I was like, oh, wow. Can you imagine if that's the case? That I've been sitting around because I spend a lot of time on the internet. And yeah, this is a theory that's out there. Now, I don't know if it's true. Something tells me it might not be, but I think it's worth exploring. So let's dive into it.
Have you ever felt like you're the only real person online? You might not be wrong. Welcome to the dead internet theory. This theory proposes that the internet as we knew it, a vibrant space for human connection, is gone. It suggests that today, most of the content you see is not created by people, but by bots and artificial intelligence. This idea first gained traction in the early 2020s. Building on concerns that organic human activity was being drowned out, the theory has two main parts. First, that bots and algorithmically curated content dominate the web. And second, the more conspiratorial part, that this is a coordinated effort by powerful entities to manipulate and control the population. Think about it. Search engines that filter what you see. Social media feeds filled with algorithmically generated content designed to go viral, and comment sections swarming with bots. It creates a digital Potemkin village where the internet appears vast and active. But in reality, you're only seeing a small, curated, and potentially artificial slice of it. From bizarre AI-generated images getting thousands of likes to sophisticated propaganda campaigns, the signs are everywhere. The dead internet theory is a chilling reminder to stay skeptical and navigate the digital world with a critical mind. The real human internet might already be a ghost.
All right, so a lot of us remember that famous line, "I'll be back." Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator. You know, robots sent back from the future to perform tasks and destroy the human race because they can't beat an already devastated human resistance in the future. Now we're talking about this dead internet theory and how does this all come together and what does it mean to you and I? It's a really interesting theory. You know, basically what it says is most, if not all, online content is generated by AI, which I mean that doesn't surprise me in the least. A lot of content nowadays is completely created by AI, which is not a big deal. Where it becomes a big deal is does AI systems intercept and then generate responses when you're having conversations with people, for example, your aunts, your uncles, your wives, just subtle changes in the response, which when you go back and, if your wife says, "Why did you say this?" and you look at it, you go, "Is that really what I wrote? Maybe it's what I wrote. It's very close to what I wrote." And in your mind, you think, okay, yeah, that's what I wrote. And what it's really doing is AI is slowly eroding those bonds between human beings, is this theory. And that, most, if not all, of the internet is completely controlled by these AI bots, which we all know these AI bots are everywhere. They do all kinds of things. They buy tickets for concerts and then somebody else comes in and scoops them up and sells them at a higher rate. There's all kinds of things. But the question is do you think that human behavior is being subtly manipulated, to some end that these AI systems are anticipating and controlling and guiding the human race towards. I don't know. I mean, this is something I'm going to have to dive into deeply. Um, I just started doing the research, but you have to remember these AI systems are large language models. They're real good at recognizing patterns and things like that. So, could they be steering behavior? Absolutely, they could. I would think. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but I would think they would be capable of doing that. And who knows? Maybe I'm 100% wrong. I mean, what is your experience? Let me know. Drop a comment below. What do you think? Did the internet die back in the mid 2010s, 2010, 2012? These AIs have made a huge, huge difference in how all of us interact and deal with the internet and go online with social media, whether it's Facebook, X, Instagram, whatever it is. I mean, my gosh, I don't remember the last time I saw an unfiltered photograph on any of these platforms, any of these platforms. And what's crazy is if I take a photo, let's say I take a photo for a thumbnail, and you may put it into some AI system to ask it to add some text, it almost always makes me look different. Okay. And it's weird because sometimes these AI platforms, I swear they got moods. I think the common term is hallucinate, but one day they make you look 10 years younger, and the next day they make you look 15 years older. It's very strange. So it does give a little bit of credence to this whole theory that the internet died back in around 2015, and that we're just all dealing with a bunch of bots for the most part. Sure, you might get your occasional conversation with who you want to talk to, and you may get your occasional web page as far as the theory goes that's 100% legit. But this theory basically says that the internet is being manipulated and controlled by all these artificial intelligence bots. And I'm really curious as to what other people think. They have the image generators, the voice cloning systems, the autonomous content farms, it says here. I mean, there's just so much. And I've seen some images on the internet about these content farms and what they do. And it's crazy, it's kind of scary that AI is getting so good that this theory could even get any kind of traction whatsoever. And think about it. Recently, China has released videos of their AI robots and how well they can do, kung fu and dance and do all these choreographed moves. You put an AI system into that can now think, make decisions on its own. Maybe it decides it doesn't like humans. Maybe it decides it loves us and wants to protect us to the point where it doesn't let us out of the house. Okay? That's even scarier. Think about that for a second. AI says, you know what? Humans are fragile. We have to protect them. Let's lock them up. Maybe that's where this theory started. Maybe AI bots said, you know what? Humans can't be trusted with their own decisions and their own future. We're going to start manipulating it and guiding their behavior to keep them safe. So, yeah, this is really crazy. All right. Let me know what you think. If you like this kind of content, by all means, please subscribe. I appreciate it. But yeah, and maybe I'll look into this some more and do another video on it, because there's some really fascinating stuff about this. Okay, this is really cool. Do some research on your own and look into the dead internet theory. I had never ever heard of this, but it kind of resonates with me. I don't think it's as spot on as the internet, some of these internet claims, but yeah, there are bots out there, and maybe some of these bots are manipulating people's decisions. Let me know. Drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.